Hey, what's going on, everyone? Wanted to do a video response to a person who I'm subscribed to here on YouTube. Her name is Melina Pendulum. Um, Great to meet you. I enjoy your videos. Um, I liked how you talk about how Hades is not always, well, he's not really the bad guy in general in Greek mythology, and how you kind of skimmed. I think you said you skimmed the script of the 2010 Clash of the Titans remake. Um, a lot of people don't know that Hades is actually the eldest of the Greek mythology brothers, as far as um, Poseidon, Zeus are concerned. He's older than both. The thing is, he got the short end of the stick. You know, everybody doesn't. Nobody really realizes that their dad was a Titan. He had three sons, and their daddy was a little bit of a crazy guy. So, elder brother, Hades had to fight daddy, and got eaten by daddy, and Zeus had to help him out. And in the end, they beat daddy. And what happens is Hades wanted Olympus. You know, he's like, I want Olympus. Since I'm the elder brother, I deserve Olympus. When he does, he's the eldest. At least I think so. That's how it should go. The eldest should get the first dibs. But Mr. Zeus decides, hey, why don't you have Hades? Why don't you reside over the dead, and let me have Olympus, and Poseidon, you can have the sea. He's like, I get the short end of the stick. I gotta take over the dead. If you think about it, he did kind of get the short end of the stick. Hades should be up there in Olympus, and Zeus should be over the dead. Or maybe it's opposite. Zeus should be able to see, and Poseidon should be over the dead. And he just got the short end of the stick. But the only thing he really did was, I think he convinced someone to he kidnapped one of the goddesses, and that's really it. That's really the baddest thing he did. And a lot of people kind of go, well, that's kind of evil. But look at Zeus. Zeus is a womanizer. Zeus is a jealous god. He tried to, when Hera challenged him, what did he do? He beat her. He's a woman beater. Like I said, he's very jealous. Just because he's up in the clouds doesn't mean he's a good guy necessarily. He's power hungry too. I like the way they portrayed it in God of War, the video game. If you all are familiar with that, they portrayed him as the bad guy. He teamed up with Hades. Ares, excuse me, and fighting the main character in God of War. And I really hope that the 2010 remake, I hope that they don't portray him as like that bad evil guy just because he resides over death. They do a lot of that stuff with the Grim Reaper too. They just because the Grim Reaper is over death, they make him like, oh, he's the bad guy. Not really. That's just his job. Like, that's a name, the title he was given, the Grim Reaper. That's a title. And a lot of people, they portray him as like, oh, he's the bad guy. We gotta make him the bad guy in the movie. Not really. I like the way they did it in the anime Soul Eater. They had the Grim Reaper is the good guy, which he is. He was training these kids. It's a very cool anime if you haven't seen it. It's called Soul Eater, and Grim was the good guy. Now Grim does like death. He likes eating souls and stuff like that occasionally, but I mean he's just like that. He has a crazy personality. He's not like this all wicked evil guy just because he's over he resides over death again. But back to Hades, yeah, he does kind of get the mistreatment, and especially in Hollywood, and sometimes too in comic books. I read a lot of comic books, and they kind of like portray him like that. They portray him like the ultimate bad guy. Now there are some comic books where they portray him like Ghost Rider. The comic book, they portrayed him pretty well in there. They portrayed an angel. They actually had an angel as a bad guy, which is cool. And they did it in Spawn too. The comic book Spawn, if you're familiar with it, they had it where God and Satan were just bickering brothers, and they weren't necessarily good or evil. It's just that actually they had it. Yeah, if Spawn Armageddon, they had it where Satan, aka Lucifer, betrayed. He made man, and he gave man free will, and that's how they portrayed it. And God didn't like humans, and this is the Spawn universe I'm talking about, the comic book. And I thought that was very cool how they portrayed that. I was like, that's interesting, because that'd be interesting if if it was like that. Just very cool ideas that some things they done in comics. I think in Marvel they have. I think in Marvel they have Hercules as like. No, not Hercules, but Hades as. I can't remember. I don't think he's the ultimate bad guy though, but I feel your pain on that one. They do portray him like. They portray him wrongly, but I'm gonna go see the movie. Hopefully they do it right. The trailer looks cool, but then again, I've been fooled by trailers before. But I just want to get that off my chest. That yeah, I agree exactly what you're saying, Melina, and it kind of hurts to see Hades betrayed like that, because besides kidnapping one of the goddesses, he's a pretty alright guy. He's not necessarily the bad guy. It's just the way they betray him, just because he's over death, and like Hollywood thinks, oh, death. Well, he's Satan, so nah, it's not really necessarily like that. That's really all I have to say on the subject. I really can't go into too much more detail. Because I'm not an expert, but I do know my basic Greek mythology, and excuse me if I didn't say the names. I'm just saying the goddesses. I'm forgetting these names. Because I don't want to say the wrong names. I look up like Egyptian mythology and Norse mythology. I don't want to get the characters mixed up, because it is kind of hard to get it easy to get it mixed up every once in a while. Again, I'm sorry if I didn't say the names. What is her name? Was it Perispone that he kidnapped? It had to be. Man, I haven't done my research in a while, but I do know that Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades, they made kind of like a deal, and Zeus was given he was given Olympus when the elder brother Hades should have been given Olympus, in my personal opinion. The elders should get first dibs. That's just the way I see it. You guys tell me what you think. Anybody who's a bigger expert than I am, you guys can give your comments on it. Melina, I agree with you again, what you said in your video. And that's really all I have to say. I don't wanna drag this on any more than I have to. My subscribers, if you don't look at her videos, you should. I'll post a link up to her channel. Check her channel out. She's a pretty good YouTube poster. I like her outlook on things. And that's all I have to say. This is Zip Block Bloody. I'm out.